Hello and welcome to my Facebook Live. I'm going to be talking again about another of the 9 centers in the Human Design Life Chart today, the throat center. So I would really encourage you, have a copy of your chart with you, or if you know your chart by heart, that'll be very good. If you don't have a copy of your chart, you can go to our website, that is humandesignforusall.com, and you can download your free report. You can get the free software also, and you can draw charts within those possibilities. You can also go to, if you'd like to get the free app, you can go to thehumandesignApp.com and you'll be guided to get either the iOS, the Apple version, or the Android version of the app. And you can draw up charts in that too. So really good to have a copy of a chart with you while I'm going through this. So today I'm talking about the throat center, and I'm giving a title to this particular talk. Just because we have a voice does not mean that we have to speak. So in the past 2 talks we've had a look both at the crown center and the mind center. Okay? And in the Human Design Life Chart, these are where thoughts are processed, ideas are expanded, and insight are streamed towards expression at the throat center. In this talk I'm going to go into the throat center and describe what goes on there. Of all the 9 centers, the throat center has the most connections to other centers. It's like the grand central station in the human body. Everything is seeking to have access there. The throat center has set humans apart from other species through our ability to communicate in very particular ways. It's the center that is responsible for how we express our thoughts, feelings, fears, identities, wishes, awarenesses, our power and our weaknesses. Communications can be shared and conveyed through ideas, concepts, rules, beliefs, songs, gossips, plans, philosophies, historical perspectives, and in many other ways that are in no way paralleled by the animal or plant world. In our understandings of human design, the throat center is also the center of manifestation, in that all our direct actions are energetically expressed through the throat center. Physiologically, it relates to the thyroid and parathyroid glands. And though I'm not in any way qualified to diagnose anyone on this level, if you have physical problems in these glands, you'll be very interested to have a look at your Human Design Life Chart to see what goes on there energetically for you in your throat center and how you're using your throat center in your life. As with all centers in the Human Design Life Chart, they are either defined, that is colored in, because they have a channel or channels defined and connected between it and other center or centers. Undefined, in which they are colored white and have at least one gate activated in them. Or they're open, in which they are colored white and have no gates activated in them. So let's start with defined throat centers. A defined throat center, one that's colored in, is turned on 24/7. It gives you access to speech at any time. The defined channel or channels connecting to other centers will determine the source and sounds of your expressions. For example, a connection to the mind center gives you access to expressing whatever's going on in your mind. And depending on the particular channel or channels, the expressions will come in logical thoughts, that is through gate 62 of express details, with a voice that says, I think this is right. I think this fits. Stimulating ideas and beliefs will come through gate 56, called the Wanderer, with a voice that says something like, I believe this to be right. I believe this is it. Or novel insights that come through gate 23, the gateway of assimilation, with an authoritative, I know. What we all have to remember is that the mind is expressing concepts of potential interest. As to whether anything happens with these concepts or not is not decided just because it is expressed. The throat center might be defined and connected to the emotion center, and thus give direct expression to feelings through gate 12, called stand still, with a potentially cautious voice of, I wait until I'm clear to proceed. Or gate 35 of progress, with a voice that may say something like, let's move on and try something completely different. I've been there, done this already. In human design, both of the channels from the emotions to the throat center are what we call manifested channels, and as such can spark activity. What might be less obvious is that an emotional tone of voice can trigger other people in unexpected ways to a state of delight and enchantment, but also potentially to a state of disturbance in that their emotions are set in reaction. There is also another manifested channel that connects between the heart center and the throat center, arriving at the throat in gateway number 45, called Gathering Together, with a familial voice of I have or we have, or the opposite, I or we don't have. Again, a voice connecting from the heart center and our source of our willpower and wants can be very direct and trigger potentially competitive reactions in other people. Manifestors, and that is all 11% of them by population, have to be perhaps clearer than anyone else that they're living a very singular life that certainly involves other people, but not in the same ways that they can absorb others completely into their lives. They are a little bit self-contained. As other perhaps, they're different than perhaps other types of human designs. Then there are the 4 connections from the self center to the throat center, each one of which is a leadership channel and that can give direction to others. At the throat center, gateway number 31, the gateway of influence, voices, this is how it's going to work. We need to go this way, and provides a leadership that points towards a future outcome. Gate number 8, called Holding Together, expresses contribution and cooperation and promotes how creative endeavors can proceed. They're going to be different. Gate number 33, the gate of retreat, either remembers or forgets, but has some amazing stories if they'll tell them. And from the stories and the associations with others' experiences that they've absorbed, they'll come to a leadership that is based in a reassuring precedent. Yes, this has worked before, we've tried it before, it goes. And then there's gate number 20, bottom left-hand corner of the throat, the gateway of the now, literally voices, and now, and provides a guidance to be present. Gate 20 is unique in that not only does it provide potential leadership through the channel 20 to the 10 in the self-center, called awakening and a commitment to higher principles, but it also potentially connects to the sacral center, the center that's called our generator center in human design, and the source of life force energy, through the channel of 2034. And this is the channel of being busy now, and being busy now, again. People with this channel, they have a tendency to be busy. And also, potentially, it has a connection to gateway number 57 in the spleen center, the center that looks out for our health and well-being, with an expression at the throat center akin to alert now, and now. And this has just come into my awareness now. I was pointing my head, but in actual fact, it's coming from our senses of intuition. Something comes up. And finally, there is a gate 16 at the throat center called skill or enthusiasm that can pick out what has future potential and what does not, with a voice that might be something like this. Well, this is useful. This could be improved. However, this, not worthwhile. The 16 connects to gate 48 in the spleen center through the channel of talent, implying that anyone who has this channel has a talent, with a catch. That talents can lead one to be quite self-critical, because talents essentially need to be improved through practice. If you have a defined throat center with one or more of these channels defined in your design, and are living in accord with them, you will relate to what I've just been talking about. However, according to your type and authority, you will appreciate that there are times when what you have to say is right and effective. And then there are other times when no matter what it is you've got to say, nobody is able to hear it, and it is completely ineffective. With a defined throat center, yes, you can speak at any time. However, trusting your type and authority to nudge you when to speak and when to hold your peace is essential. If you have an undefined throat, then you have to appreciate that yes, you can talk. And you might recognize the particular voice expressions that you relate to the throat gate or gates that you have activated in your undefined throat center through what I've just been describing. However, again, if you speak out of turn, no one will be able to hear what you're saying. The great thing about an undefined throat center is that you can accrue the wisdom to say things, to reflect speech back to others in ways that they cannot express for themselves. Undefined centers are reflective by nature, and the particular gate or gates that you might have in the throat center, activated, give added input, your particular very special input, your wisdom, to what needs to be expressed. However, there can be a tendency, if you have an undefined throat center, to just talk, and talk, and talk, to literally ride on the connections of the defined throat centers of your company, without necessarily appreciating that energetically they're not available to receive your input. Just as you reflect others' speech, you can also reflect, connect, and activate others' manifesting. Just as your interactions with people who match your design provide the necessary input for your own manifestations, it's all about the right connections. That comes down to your type and authority. Remember always that there are no good or bad designs. It's all about recognizing your own perfect nature and living within its parameters, at the same time as being consciously intentional. For those who have open throat centers, and these are centers that are colored white, they have no gates colored in them at all, no activations, you have access to express anything in any way according to any particular company or environment in which you find yourself. Of course, allow your type and authority to guide you, but see that you have the most potentially variant expressions of anyone. I'm reminded of a client, an opera singer, who had trained her 3-octave voice and was being bombarded by requests from all over the world to perform in a huge diverse array of operas because she could cover such a massive spectrum. Take care of your throat center, for it will reveal your particular ways of providing expressions to this world, and they are unique. If you'd like to learn more about human design, we offer an excellent training, and I will post the link here for you. Next week, I shall be in New York City with friends watching the Macy's Thanksgiving Parade. And all things willing, I will be on my Facebook Live giving a talk about the Self Center, sometimes called the G Center. And this is our center that connects our identity into the world. In the time between, I wish you great good fortune, and be aware of what you say and when you say it. Be watchful of what you communicate, whether through your voice or through your actions, or through other communications, tweets, emails, or other ways. So there it is. That's what I have for you today. I hope this has been insightful, and look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.